Okay, so let's start our character modeling project in Maya. So before we do that, before we go to Maya, let's go create our project folder first. So for example, I'll create here a new folder. Let's say I'll name this MA41. So underscore is my last name, and then underscore is my first name. Okay, so that's how. And then inside this, I will create 3 subfolders. New folder, and then I'll just copy and paste it. And then I will just rename this to 01 modeling. So this is where all the modeling files will be. And then 02 after the modeling is the texturing. So this is where all the texturing files going to be saved. And then last is the animation. So this is where all animation files are going to be saved. Now I'll go inside modeling, and then I will have here, let's say, another folder which is going to be my reference folder. So I will just, for example, if I have a downloaded reference like this, no, I will just select all of that, I'll copy it, and then I'll paste it here in my reference folder so that I can easily find it later when I start setting up the reference. Okay, so that's how we start our project folder. Now when we go to Maya, or before going to Maya, let us copy the address of our reference. We will be needing this later on when we set up the reference for modeling. So I'll go back to Maya now. If you're opening Maya for the first time, the workspace is going to be set in general. So what we will do here is, let's go to workspace, let's move, or let's set this to modeling standard. So this is what the modeling standard looks like. It has no timelines or frame bars here because we're not going to be animating. Now let's go here for the view layout. So once we go to the view layout, the next thing that I will do now is have each of these views have the reference that we have here. So as you can see here, the references are accordingly front, back, and the 2 sides. So we're going to set them up here. So this is the front view as mentioned in the label and view cube. So what I'll do next is I'll just go to view, import our image plane, and then import image. So in the dialog box, I'll just Control A and paste the address I copied earlier, and then I'll select the file accordingly, press open, and there it is. I can even see it in the viewport. Okay, so in the viewport, I'll press space bar, and then I'll see here, I'll check the rotation of the view. So because the next one is the side view, I want to know where the side should be facing, or which side view reference will I be importing. So you can check that here. In the front view, as you can see, or in the perspective view, when the reference is facing front, it is also saying front. If I'm going to have it look onto the left, right, on the left of the screen, so that means that is the right side. Right side supposedly of the character reference. So what I'll do here is, when I go here on this side view, I'll check, oh, this is the right side view as per the viewport. So I'll just go to view, image plane, import image. Once again, I'll just paste the reference, and then I'll just choose which side view, this one, the one that's looking at the left of the screen, and I'll just press open, and there it is. Okay, so the next thing that I will do here is I will need to push them away from each other but also in opposite directions. So I'll use the move tool or press W there. So when I select, for example, the front view, I'll push it back, so they will go in opposite directions. Front view will be going backwards, and then the right side view here is going on to the left, so that's opposite. So we will have space for modeling at the center of the viewport. So the next thing that I will do here is I will go to the top view, but I will set this to back view, panels, orthographic, and then I'll set new, and then I will choose back there. So the back view is created. There's a back view camera now. So what I'll do next is I'll go to view, image plane, import the image, and then I'll once more paste the location, choose the back view reference, and then I'll just press open. But the back view will not be seen at the center because it is way behind there because of the new camera. So what I'll do here is I'll just click the empty space and then reselect the back view there, and then I can quickly go here. This is the UCS spot here, and then I can type in 0, tab 0 on all those slots, the X, Y, Z, and then I'll just press enter, and there it is. The back view is back at the center. So what I'll do is I'll just drag it going forward, since they are going to be placed on opposite positions. So right now I will not use the other side view because this one is enough, because the reference shows that the model is symmetrical. Okay, so next thing is I will just select all of my objects, or sorry, references here. After I have selected all of them, what I'll do is I'll just raise them above the ground line, because that's how models should be oriented. They are supposed to be above the ground line. I'll just drag this going up, just making sure. Now since they are all above the ground line, the next thing is if I put an object here at the center and start to model, right? So it will be a bit difficult because the references are blocking your camera. So what I'll do, let me delete that sample object. So I'll just select this reference and have it renamed. So this is supposed to be the front, so I'll name it front, and then I'll say rename this. This is going to be the R side or right side, and then I'll select this. This is the back view or the back. So next, I will now select each of them so they will not be blocking the modeling views. So I will select one of them, or each of them I'll select. I'll go to my attributes. Oops, that's two settings. Attributes here. So in the attributes, I will go down here at the display. I will just set it here. So this means that the front view is going to be seen only in the front camera. So that's how it can be assigned. So as you can see here, you cannot see the front view anymore in the perspective, right? But I cannot also see it in the front view because there's a back view there going against the camera. So what I'll do is I'll select the back view once more. I'll go back here, show in chosen camera. So now I can just see back view in the back camera, and then I can see the front view in the front camera. So I'll just select the side and set it. So now I have an empty, and now I have an empty 3D space that has already a reference setup. Okay, so what I'll do next is, before I save, I want some things here, such as these. I'll hide those camera, they are not supposed to be selectable. And then I'll just select my objects, just making sure they are there, because the next thing I will do is I'll save this now. I can Control V, go back to my reference folder, but this time I will just go here. Oh, sorry, that's correct. The reference folder, I'll just name this reference setup, and then I'll save it. So now I have created a reference setup. I'll just close this now, and then I'll run a new Maya. Okay, so in this Maya, what I will do next is I will create a base mesh, a block base mesh. So I'll just need the front view and perspective view for that. So I'll go to panels, I'll choose layouts, and then I'll choose to paint side by side. I'll set this to panels orthographic front, so I'll keep the perspective here. So all I need is I'll just select a box and create one. After I have created that box here, so what I'll do next is I'll just switch to my vertex selection, select the bottom vertices, press R to scale, and now I have this. I'll create this simple reverse trapezoidal representation of the pelvis. So that is where you start. And then the next thing is I will do some extrusions. I will go to polygon selection, and then I'll select that, and then I'll just use Shift and E to drag like this. Right? So as I drag, I will already know that that is going to be the stomach. Holding Shift, I'll drag another. So this time, this is the chest. Hold Shift, drag the up. So, sorry, that was the rib cage, the second one, and then this is the chest. Okay, so we're done with that. So the next is I will just press R, and then I will scale in along this axis there. Oops, sorry. Holding Shift, I will scale in along this axis there. So this is how I will create the trapezoid. This is for the shoulder as it's going to come out, and also aside from the shoulder, oh sorry, this is going to be for the neck. I'll hold Shift and drag it up there. So that's going to be for the neck, and then I'll just Shift, click, and drag. This is for the jaw. Shift, click, and drag. This is for the cranium. And then I'll select this, and then I'll just Shift, click, and drag. I have that. Alright, and then onto the side, pressing Q. This is for the other side of the face. I'll just Shift, click, drag using W there, pressing Q. Okay, so next thing is I'll bring out the arms polygon. So I'll just select these, and then I can press W once more, hold Shift and drag, and then I will just lift it up and angle it, pressing E for angle there. Then I can scale a little bit to resize that there. So the next thing is, oops, that was wrong, R, oops, so here I'll just press E and rotate it a bit. Then if I press R here, scaling along this axis. There. So the next thing that I'll do is, this is the shoulder, so underneath will come the arm. So I'll just select that, and then I'll just do an extrude. Okay, so let's say there. I can already count in the extrude. Let's say let's have 8 subdivisions. So will that have 9 effect? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so far that's the ideal for that. And then I'll just select this, and then I'll just press W for move, shift click drag here, press R, and then I'll scale it down along the y-axis there, and then I'll just press W. Now the next thing that I'll do here is I can turn off the grid for now. Oh, sorry, here's the grid. And then I'll just press W, and then shift click drag there. So this is going to be the thigh part, and of course I'll just add 1, 2, and 3 for the small ones for the knee, and then I'll hold shift again once more for the leg or the calf area there, and then just one more for the ankle, and then one last. I'll select this, still on W, I'll just shift click. So this is going to be the, let's say this is going to be the footstool there. So now I have this, and before I end it, I will just press W for move to. So it is at the center. Oops, I'll save it later, but it is at the center. So what I will do next is I will just choose the multi-cut tool. I'll hold control and I'll shift, so it is at the center. If I type in 50%, yeah, 50%. Now I'll click this there, pressing Q, and then I'll just select this polygon, double click the next, and then I'll just delete. Alright, let me just delete all of the polygons here there. So pressing W, saving work. I'll go once more to my desktop. So going up one folder, so I will name, oops, sorry. So what I'll do is I'll just go up one folder, reference. So here, this is where I will name this. Let's say this is going to be my base, block base. So this is going to be my block base model, so that you will not start from scratch just in case something happens to the file. So I'll just save this. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is I'll just go select edit, duplicate special. Then from here I can set this to a copy. I can reset that, edit reset settings. Right, so now I can just set this to copy, and then I can set this to parent or leave it as it is. Here in the X slot, these 3 ones are the XYZ. So I'll just type in negative on the scale X there. I'll choose apply. So it got duplicated. I'll close it. So there. Right? Is it at the center? It is. So since it is at the center, the next thing that I will do is I'll just select it, and then I will just choose combine, and then I will just select, and I'll do edit, delete all by type history there, and then I'll name this block base. That's it. I'll save the work. So now this means I can start my modeling on our next lesson.